My British foundation, the Richard Dawkins Foundation for Reason and Science in Britain, commissioned a poll, an Ipsos Mori poll, in the very week of the 2011 census in order to get people exactly at the time when they'd actually filled in their census form. And we polled specifically people who had ticked the Christian box in the census. So these were people who had said, I am a Christian. And we asked them a number of supplementary questions to investigate actually how Christian they really are. So to test their knowledge of the Bible, for example, we said, what is the first book of the New Testament? Is it Matthew, Genesis, Acts of the Apostles, or Psalms? I think it was 39% successfully ticked Matthew. Now these are people who advertise themselves in the census as being Christian. And it's not that they had to reach into their memory to pull out the word Matthew. They were given a four-way choice of Matthew, Acts, Genesis, and Psalms.
Is that still a fair argument to bring up? I mean, I take your point about whether people are practicing, but in a way it's interesting that you choose to use that question now.
I've only got to question one.
Yeah, but I'm sure you'd find lots of... But that's the interesting about belief. It isn't always about knowing all the details of documents, is it? It's
That's
about
why we need to go on to question two.
Which is? Go on.
Well, I forget exactly the order of the questions, but they were things like, do you believe Jesus is your Lord and Saviour? Do you go to church? Do you govern your life by Christian morality? That kind of thing. We asked them, after the figure dropped dramatically from 54% who said they were Christian to something derisively small, to the answer to the question, do you believe Jesus is your Lord and Saviour? Do you believe Jesus was born of a virgin? Do you believe Jesus rose on the third day? I mean, the figures dropped, I forget exactly what to, but not quite to single figures, but almost to single figures when we asked them those questions. So then we asked, why then did you tick the Christian box? And the most popular answer to that was, oh, well, because I like to think of myself as a good person. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're up against.
Well,
people think that the word Christian means good person. It actually sometimes is used. You'll say, somebody who's just done you a good turn, oh, thank you, you're a Christian. So that was that. Then we said, well, when you have a moral dilemma, when you have a moral question, a difficult ethical question to face, do you turn to your religion to answer it? And I think it was only 10% of the people who ticked the Christian box who said, yes, we turn to our religion. The majority of them said what probably anybody in this room would say. I forget the exact phraseology of the question, but it was things like what we would call moral philosophy. It was things like taking advice from friends, the sorts of things that any sensible person would base their moral decisions on.